Hey folks, long time no see. No, have you ever wondered how these modern web framework call themselves single page application? I mean, single page? Why? Because as a developer, I'm pretty sure I'm developing multiple web pages and wow, what was that? Alright, I'm pretty sure I'm developing multiple web pages and I can load multiple web pages at a time. Then why single page application? I guess I have cracked the code. Let's find out. Okay, what you're seeing on the screen is traditional web architecture. I have given my best to keep it as simple as possible. Alright, so what do we have on the left hand side is user. User obviously uses a browser to talk to the internet. Let's say our user wants to access Facebook. What it does, it type the URL into the browser and then that URL gets and hit the Facebook server, right? Now, let's say user wants to go to the home page. So Facebook server goes and find the home page and then it's do the magic with JavaScript and it respond that HTML and render back on the client's browser or user's browser. Now after playing a little bit, user wants to go to the home page. So user goes and click on the home page button. What that does, it creates a new URL which goes back to the Facebook server. Then Facebook server again finds a new HTML and that new HTML is again rendered back to the browser. So what's happening here? Every single request that user makes, Facebook server or any server just goes and find that HTML and render back to the client. So there's a lot of communication that happens back and forth in the traditional web architecture. So this is a multi-web page application where every single page is rendered back every single time user has made a request. This is the problem, and this is where the single page application comes and solves this problem. Let me show you how. Now on the screen what you are seeing is the architecture for single page application. Now the web framework I'm using is Blazor because I'm working with Blazor, but I'm pretty sure every other web framework which follows single page application follows the same architecture, right? So first of all, there is no difference. The user experiences. There is no change in user experience. There's a change in the architecture, the way server works. So user accessing the browser again, making a request for the Facebook homepage. Now the Facebook server, rather than directly going to the home page and finding that home page and responding back to the browser, now it has one intermediator. The job of the intermediator is to find the requested homepage or to find a requested component or web page and render back to the client. So in Blazor, that mediator is app.razor. So what app.razor does is goes and find the home.razor and then it places this home.razor inside the app.razor and then this app.razor get rendered back to the client's browser. Now when the user makes another request for profile page, again the server first goes to app.razor, then the app.razor finds the profile.razor which get placed inside the app.razor, then it get rendered to the client's browser machine. Simple enough, right? So rather than directly loading the full-fledged HTML pages, what we are doing is we are actually loading the component to the mediator. But why component, right? Why can't we just use directly the big HTML pages? That is where the Blazor's component-based architecture comes in. You see at the right hand side, we have 3 components just for the profile.razor. Why? Well, let me explain you that with a real-time application, YouTube. Okay, on the screen what you're seeing is one of my video is playing on the YouTube. Now watch what happens when I add the comment to this video. I'm just adding a test and comment. Okay, my comment got added. But did the web page refreshes? Or did this video stop playing? Did it pause? No, it did not. So what happened, right? Your comment gets added without affecting other parts of the web page. You know why that happened? Because each component has a separate life cycle and your entire web page is made out of different components. So this video playback that is playing above is a separate component. This comment section is separate component, right? So that's why when I added the comment, this video did not pause. Neither did entire web page went into refresh. It just refreshed this part of the component. And this is what we meant when we say a web framework is a component-based web framework. Likewise, the Blazor is component-based web framework. So this profile.page is actually made out of two more pages, the user info.page, user info component and user orders component. These two components gets combined, and then these two components placed together inside this profile page, and then this profile page gets placed inside the app.razor, which all together gets placed inside this browser, rendered on the browser's user's browser, right? So if you make any change on this component, which will have no impact on this component, you see, because all of these components have their own life cycle, and the way user interacts has no impact on the other component. Pretty amazing, right? So in the end, this single page app.razor can load multiple components which runs on their own life cycle. That is why most of the modern framework follows the single page application. So in front of me, what I have is a Blazor Web App. This is a new template that comes with .NET 8, and this template under the hood is nothing but a console application. And if history is my witness, I know console application starts from the program.cs. So is this application. I have program.cs right here. Let's open that up. Okay, it has a lot of code. All the code above is responsible for setting up your web environment and configure your HTTP request. What I want you guys to pay attention at line number 24. It says app.map_razor components to the app component. Well, what is this app component? This app component is nothing but this app.razor. This is the single page in your single page application. You see, it's a plain HTML with one notifying difference. It has one more component, actually two components, but ignore that for a minute. It has another component which quite strike my interest. It's called route inside a body tag. Let's see what this route component is. This is this component. It is the responsibility of this component to find the specified requested web page from the user. Let me show you in the architecture. So in the architecture, if you remember, this app.razor is this app.razor. And when I say the app.razor is responsible for finding a requested web page, this is the responsibility of this route page. So it goes and finds the home page. It goes and finds the profile page. Okay? And once it found the profile page, what it does, it places that component inside this main layout. So if I go to main layout, you will see this nothing but plain HTML, right? So where does this components get placed dynamically, right? Dynamically because this component is changing. User might request for this or might request for this. So this component get placed inside this body tag. So this body tag is dynamically load sometimes the home.razor, sometimes the profile.razor. So everything that you see in this architecture on the right hand side of the architecture are composed by these four files. So what is happening? User make a request, user loads the app.razor into the browser, app.razor goes and asks the router, hey, user is requesting for home page, give me the home page. Then that home page get placed inside the body tag. Then this entire HTML get placed back to the router gets placed to the app.razor, then the app.razor get rendered on the user's browser. Same way, when the user make a request for profile page, same sequence follows. It goes to the app.razor, it goes to the router finds the profile.razor, then it places the profile.razor inside a body tag, which get placed back in the router, from the router to the app.razor, which get rendered back on the user's machine. So the entire game is played by these four files, right? So in the solution explorer, program.cs, from there app.razor, from there router.razor, from there main layout.razor. Okay, so let me actually run this application and show you how this all looks to the user. Alright guys, I have application running on the screen, the same application that we had in Visual Studio Code. So what you will see, I have loaded the application to the index page. Let me bring up the inspect element so we could see what is happening beneath the code. See what you will see inside the rendered HTML. There's something called page, sidebar, and then there's this top row and content. This is what your main layout looks like. Let me show you. Inside your main layout, you will see this page, this sidebar, this top, and this content before. Now, as I mentioned, the body tag is dynamically loaded, right? So whatever happens after this class, is what dynamically loaded. Now pay close attention. I'm going to click on counter to see the URL has changed. And now you will see after this, the new content is rendered. And this content is coming from this counter component. So if I open the counter.razor, you will see status, then this button primary, this is part of this component. Now if I click on weather, again you will see the body tag has changed to the weather component. If I go to the weather, yeah, there you go to table and everything, this table and everything that coming from weather.razor. So every time a user make a request or user interact, right, the router goes and find the right page, then plays inside that body tag. Then this entire HTML get rendered back to the app.razor, and this app.razor is presented on the browser. Pretty straightforward and amazing. I love it. Okay, so this is what it means having a component based architecture. Each component can run independently, having their own life cycle without touching other parts of the website. What it means, if I had another video playing here and if I play with this button, that video will have no impact because that video is running on different component, right? This is where Blazor shines with its single page application architecture. Pretty straightforward. I really hope you guys learned something new today, and I actually decided to create this video because I got 5 new subscribers. So cheers to you guys, this is for you. I'm kidding, this is for everybody. And if you like this video, let me know. If you don't like it, still let me know. And with that, I leave you. Have a good weekend. Ciao.